See where I think Jerry Falwell Jr., who I believe is the president of Liberty University, like after the the coronavirus started spreading and a lot of cities started shutting down, and I guess at some point his school was closed down, and then he opened it back up. Like, do you personally have an opinion of a man of God who should have the best interests and health of his parishioners and his flock at heart? Do you have an opinion of that action of opening the school back up when this deadly virus is circulating?
Pick on Rodney Howard-Browne for a minute. Rodney Howard-Browne, he's famous for the Laughing Revival, or you could probably take Jerry Falwell Jr. too, but they claim they're being persecuted for their belief in God. No, you're not. You're being persecuted for being stupid. It's just you're putting people's lives in danger. So, you can say, hey, we're our right to gather, our freedom of expression here in the U.S., right to gather for religious meetings is being infringed. Well, it's just protecting the public.
We'll wrap up soon, but I want to ask if you had advice for parishioners, like what's the single most important piece of advice you can give people who've been very generous about donating money to a church or a pastor? Like what can people do to be more protective of their money and just be a little more discerning?
It's difficult when you don't have the tools to look into a ministry and see where the money's going. But you can certainly tell if they're wasting money on a corporate jet, and no matter what excuse they're using, it's going to be 10 times more expensive than flying a commercial. And then in those particular occasions when you can't reach your destination, then you can charter a plane. Look at the mansions. If they have, if they're living in a big mansion, check out our website if you can. Check out the Ministry Watch website. See if they've got information. And but try to find out the most you can about the organization before you give money. That's my recommendation. Mm-hmm. And don't give to money that to an organization that's not transparent.
And it sounds like you have some ideas or suggestions about, if we can if this is a perfect world and you can make some changes to reform maybe what a church can assign towards salaries or just how they allocate money in general.
I would like to see the church in America go back to the home church model that existed in the first century, where more than 10, but less than 20 people would gather in a home and worship together, share together, confess together. How can you confess in a church of 500 people or 1,000 or 550,000 people? You can't. And so the small church model, and give to people in your own community, give to the need you see around you, and let your small church expand. Give to people you see that are poor in Africa or whatever, but stop giving to these large organizations that have to support a large administration at the top to keep it running. They're self-perpetuating, and they're just sucking up money.
You bring up an interesting point. When I guess for my personality, I'm more of I like intimate settings. I'd rather sit with a small group of 5 people and have a conversation versus, just some big ballroom. I wonder what's the attraction to being a part of a mega church? Is it just the aesthetics? It's the big production value? What's your hunch of what that is for people?
There's that, and there's anonymity. You can go and be there, and you're anonymous. You don't have to expose your own faults, your own sin to a group of people to be held responsible to your friends around you. You're like you would have done in the first century. And then, like you said, the production value, the entertainment value is there for in the mega churches, and that's not what church is. The Apostle Paul, Jesus Christ himself, nobody would recognize the church here in America today, the mega church especially,